So baseball's a mess right now. After all the back and forth between the owners and the players and the league, after all that, finally figured something out. We get 4 games in, and it's back to being a shit show. Really quickly, just wanted to announce I did get a webcam. I haven't tested it out yet. I didn't have the time to open it out and put it on. But I'm sure the quality's a lot better than this pixelated PS2 game that you're currently watching. So I'm gonna get that up. It should be up and running for my next video, so stay tuned for that. But on to today's topic, which is the shit show that is the MLB. The gift that keeps on giving in terms of chaos. The Marlins over the weekend had learned that a couple of their players had tested positive for COVID. And their first reaction was to have a players only meeting to decide whether or not to play that evening's game. Now, I don't know why they have that kind of authority. I feel like the protocol should be, we have cases, we report to the league itself decides what we do. And knowing the league, they probably would have fucking done the same thing because they're idiots. But regardless, I don't know why the players have that kind of authority to get together and make a decision on something that involves more than just their own team. But anyways, I digress. They got together, players only meeting, they talked about it, and they decided to play. And a couple days later, Monday came out that 14 of their members, players and staff included, tested positive. And a couple of games got canceled or postponed, I should say. And now I don't really know what's going to happen, man. It's not looking good as far as finishing a season goes. I mean, they couldn't even make it out of opening weekend without shit hitting the fans. So how are they supposed to do this for months? I just don't see how it works. It's clear that there are very, very massive flaws in their plan, and I don't know how it's going to work. If another team or two like has something similar, like a similar outbreak, they're probably done, because you can only cancel or postpone so many games. The schedule is condensed as it is, so you start piling up games on top of one another. They're going to run out of time here. You can't be playing baseball into the winter. They have the fucking hourglass is turned and they're running out of time. And it seems like, the way things are trending, there's a very high chance that within the next couple weeks that the whole thing just gets shut down. And that would be an absolute joke when you consider all they went through to just get a season to happen in the first place, to starting, getting a week or two in, and then the whole thing gets upended because people are stupid. So get a load of this, okay? 2 infectious disease specialists told The Athletic on Sunday that the positive tests fit the definition of a clear outbreak of the virus within their team. But sources said those tests were not enough for either Major League Baseball or the club itself to give serious consideration to postponing this game. Why the fuck not?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
I mean, honestly, you have medical professionals telling you that it is a clear outbreak. You cannot play and spread this thing to other teams and other players and other staff and other whatever. That is the one thing you can't do. You have a clear outbreak on your team, and you don't even consider postponing that night's game. I mean, are you trying to fuck it up for the whole league? I would look into that if there was a fucking inside job, because that is so blatantly stupid on multiple levels. So they literally... Hang on, I'm not done with this yet. Marlins manager said his team never really considered not playing. So not only did they decide on playing, not playing wasn't even really discussed. So the players got together and they were like, listen, a couple of us have this thing. Now what we don't want to do is we don't want to spread it to the other team and get the whole league shut down. We don't want to do that. We have a lot of players that have it. We have a high chance of spreading it to other teams. So should we or should we not postpone tonight's game? What do you guys think? And they were like, I want to play. Like, it's so boneheadingly stupid. There's no words. Like, there's just really not. I just don't understand. I mean, these guys are supposed to be professionals. And it doesn't sound like there was any pushback whatsoever to not playing the other night. So not only is it stupid on the players' part, because if they really want to play and they really care about their safety and other safety, they would not be stupid. But they were blatantly stupid. So that was the players. It's clearly the staff of the Marlins, they don't give a fuck either. So that's another level of stupidity. But then from the league's perspective, like the MLB itself, they know that Marlins have it. They know that multiple Marlins have it. Why do you not intervene and say, no, you're not playing tonight's game? You're the league. You went through all this to get the season going, and now you're just going to let it blow up in your face. Like, there's no precaution. There's no protocol. I mean, what is the plan here? I can't begin to understand. They had all this time to come up with a plan, and part of that plan is, okay, if things go wrong, this is what we have to do. That was part of what they needed to come up with in order to successfully have a season. Clearly they didn't do that. Or I should say do it effectively. Because now something did go wrong. And it was handled in the worst way imaginable. So it just makes me question top to bottom, what the hell are you guys doing? It's honestly pathetic. And then you got to question why they didn't think about doing a bubble. And that's hard with as many players and staff and teams. That's a lot of people to put into a bubble. But if you look around the world of sports, the NBA, the NHL, and Major League Soccer, they're all doing bubbles. 0 NBA players tested positive for corona out of 346 at Orlando campus since the results were announced July 13th. The NHL announces that of 4,256 COVID tests, there were 0 positive tests. MLS has released 8 consecutive reports of 0 cases within the bubble over the span of 2+ weeks. Okay, so you have 3 other professional sports leagues in a bubble, and it's clearly working. So why is the MLB the one that's struggling with this? So you would think that because the MLB knows that they're not doing the bubble format, that they would put more emphasis and take more time to develop a plan that takes into account that they have a higher chance of having more cases than the leagues that are in bubbles do. Because they're exposing themselves to everyday life, travel, airports. I don't really know how they're doing it. Clearly not good. But just all that stuff. You're not in a bubble. You're exposing yourself to the everyday world. You have higher chances of getting COVID that way. So you need to have set in place a plan or protocol or steps that teams need to take for when and if there are players or staff members that contract the virus. You would have thought that's what they did because it's just common sense. You have higher chances of getting it. You take more initiative in creating that kind of plan. There's just so many parts of this that make 0 sense to me. And I don't understand why people that have a lot of power are so fucking incompetent. It's really bizarre. I haven't seen anything on what the league's gonna do. I know they had a meeting with all the teams yesterday. What's gonna come of it, if anything, I don't know, man. But I don't like the outlook on the rest of the season. I think within the next couple weeks, this is gonna be kind of worse, and we're gonna be looking at no more baseball for this year. If you're telling me that 4 days in, we have a huge outbreak on a team and the rest of the season just going to be squeaky clean, I think you're kind of crazy. I would like to think that, but we don't live in a perfect world, so I'm not that naive. There's a very, very high likelihood that this is not the end of it, and the Marlins are not the first team to have an outbreak. And if we're talking about multiple teams here with outbreaks, it's time for the MLB to shut it down. That's just what's going to happen. But yeah, bottom line, from top to bottom, all these different levels, the players, the team itself, the league, I have no idea how they thought any of what they did was a good idea. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss, and now we're likely looking at no more baseball. So I'd say it was fun while it lasted, but it honestly wasn't because the Red Sox are pissing me off. But that is a topic for a different video. What do you guys think? Are you pissed? Are you annoyed? Are you confused? Is it a combination of all of the above? Comment below, let me know. As always, like and subscribe, and yeah.